One of the best-known humorists in American history co-authored his first book as his marriage was crumbling and the stock market collapsed in 1929. In July of 1933, James Thurber's My Life and Hard Times series began in The New Yorker. It began with the story of The Night the Bed Fell, and what followed were other stories from Thurber's years growing up in Columbus. 4 decades later, in an interview with Alistair Cooke, Thurber talked about humor in the face of hardship.
Well, it's very hard to divorce humor from any other thing in life. Humor is the other side of tragedy. Humor is the serious thing.
In his preface to My Life and Hard Times, Thurber described the early 1930s. Pat Shannon, director of children's programs at the Thurber House, reads an excerpt that may sound familiar.
He is aware that billions of dollars are stolen every year by bankers and politicians, and that thousands of people are out of work.
Thurber tended to use humor, especially satire, to meet hardship head-on. More common folk, though, in their dash to keep life going, especially at today's frantic pace, might choose to just pretend everything is fine, even on those days when it feels like the sky is falling. A character from the long-ago play, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, followed the make-believe school of thought.
I'm calm, I'm cool, a gibbering fool is one thing I never become. When thunder is rumbling and others are crumbling, I hum.
If Hysterium's approach fails, and it certainly did for him, Steve Wilson has some ideas. Wilson is a Columbus-based psychologist, a self-described joyologist. He's been on the road with his World Laughter Tour for a quarter century.
All the systems in the body that could be detrimental to you, could harm you, if the tension and the stress went on too long, are reversed in the act of laughing.
Perhaps Wilson's point helps explain why Car Talk is one of the most popular programs on public radio. It's 1 hour of laughter and nothing to worry about.
If you laugh long enough and hard enough, we say that you laugh till you leak. That's because muscles are giving out. You collapse limp and you say, "Oh, thanks, I needed that."
Laughter might be healthy, but Wilson acknowledges it's not always appropriate. He points to the week following 9/11. The nation was in mourning. The late-night comedy programs went dark.
There are some very anxiety-producing, scary situations. It almost is obnoxious to tell people, cheer up, get a joke. You need to be laughing more. There's a time to laugh, but there's a time to cry. There's a time to worry.
And for many, those fearing or mourning the loss of a job or their home, their retirement funds or their financial security, the time to worry is now. Still, Wilson recommends taking a break if possible. He finds comfort in a particular movie.
I watch Steve Martin in My Blue Heaven. That gets me laughing. It's funny. It's relaxing to me.
Jeff Hostetler is an author and speaker on humor, health, and healing. He taught for 25 years in the Ohio State University College of Medicine, and today he's an associate professor emeritus working in the area of preventive medicine. 2 humorists lift his spirits. Garrison Keillor is one.
My all-time star, it was Bill Cosby, just sitting on stage, because he tells stories that all of us can relate to, and there is the generic humor. He doesn't have to get blue. He doesn't have to hurt people. Basically just telling the human condition.
I remember the most about growing up as a child was kindergarten. I remember standing in that schoolyard with 27 snowsuits on and my idiot mittens, The idiot mittens are the ones with the string that go up your arm and around your neck. And the only cool thing about it is you talk in the left hand, you can listen in the right. Hello, how'd you been? That's all right, fine.
Like Wilson, Hostetler is a magician. He incorporates magic and occasionally slapstick into his public appearances.
There's a playfulness about what I do. I used to worry about it. I used to think, man, wouldn't it be neat to be really highly scientific and give these incredible scientific speeches about humor? But it's kind of like Mark Twain said, you can dissect a frog and you know what the frog's all about, but the poor thing's dead.
Thurber once responded to criticism of his humor by defending both the professor in him and the clown.
Humor is counterbalance. Laughter need not be cut out of anything, since it improves everything.
A professor of mine once said, if a thing cannot stand laughter, it is not a good thing. And we must not lose in this country the uses of laughter.
Christina Morgan, WOSU News.